I don't sit still for too long. I've decided today that I'm going to start off some early peppers, but these are strictly for growing indoors. You can't sow pepper seeds at this time of year and leave them in your greenhouse. They'll just not germinate. It's too cold. You need a temperature of around 70 to 80 degrees, and that's day and night. So you need consistency in that warmth to help these seeds germinate. I'm going to be using one of these indoors. It's just a cheap heat mat that I got from eBay. I think it were about £9 or something like that a couple of years ago. And they work really well. And more importantly, they don't really take much electricity. And I'm going to try and grow some of these. These are those long sweet bell peppers. And I got about 300 seeds when I bought these at the beginning of the year. It cost me about £1.20, so a bargain. We've got loads left, so I thought why not start off some early peppers, and we can grow them indoors. We can offer them some extra light and see how they get on. Just try and get a jump on season with peppers. And I'm going to provide them with extra light using these. I've got quite a few of these. You've probably seen them before. These are just LED ceiling lights. And again, I got these off eBay. They're about £5 a piece or something like that. But they only run at 5 watts per light. So once again, that's very cheap compared to the grow lights that people try and sell you that run at like 1000 watts or something. You don't need those. These are 6500 Kelvin, which means the daylight brightness. So that's good enough. So between the heat mat and these lights, which are both very cheap to run, we can start off some early peppers. But in order to get these peppers to germinate that little bit quicker, I always soak them in tea for about 8 to 12 hours because that's going to soften the outer shells of those seeds. And I've had pepper seeds germinate in a week, whereas using the non-soaking method, they've took a month if they've germinated at all. So soaking seeds in tea does really work. And all you need is a little jar like that, and that's got some very weak tea in it. And you want to boil your water, pop your tea bag in, get a weak tea solution and take your tea bag out, and then let that cool down to room temperature. Don't put seeds into red hot water or you'll just kill the seed. And I'm going to put them into these packs as well. We can get 12 plants in there, hopefully if they all germinate, and they are very deep. So once they do germinate, they can stay in there for a long time, probably until spring. And if it works, then we've got a jump on season with peppers. But the first thing to do is soak some of these seeds. So I'm going to put in enough to put 2 seeds per cell. I think that's plenty. At least that way we can double his chances of getting any germination. And all we need to do is take those seeds and just pop them into that tea. And I'll just pop a lid on that. Give it a bit of a shake. And that's the seeds all set up. So we'll come back to those in about 8 to 12 hours. And then what we can do is pop them straight into that tray, get them on that heat mat and get them underway. And of course we don't need any lights at the moment, not until they're actually germinated. But we've got everything set up ready for when that happens. And this method works for any type of pepper seed or chilli seed. But these are the long sweet ones. So we'll get all the stuff together and we'll take it indoors. And another good thing to do is to take your compost indoors, or just fill your tray and take the tray indoors and let that compost get warm. The compost is going to be very cold at this time of year, and you don't want to put your seeds straight into very cold compost. So you might as well fill your tray, take it indoors, and you've got everything set up for you. Meanwhile, I noticed this tray this morning. We've been waiting ages for something to germinate over the last couple of weeks, and so far not much or anything has done. But I noticed this morning we've got the start of his multi-sown beetroot. I think we put 3 or 4 seeds in each cell for these, but the idea is not to grow it as multi-sown. We just did that so we could try and get at least 1 plant in each cell, and then I'm going to grow them as individual baby beets. But at least now they're on the way. We've got a little bit more growth on these packs as well. That's the lettuce. Nothing major, but they're still trying. And then we've got these Chinese cabbage, which have started to put a bit of size on as well. So that's better than nothing. At least we know things, although very slowly, are trying to do something. So I'm going to take that indoors before it gets much cooler, and we'll let that sit for a few hours, and then we'll get those seeds sown. And then I'm going to pop compost in. This compost has been sieved as well. You're better off doing that when it comes to things like peppers. We don't want to delay that plant from coming up in any way whatsoever. Just going to compact that down a little bit. Make sure we've got plenty of compost in there. They're going to be in here for quite a while. And then I'll just top it back off. There we go, quick and easy. And that's that job done. And I'm going to pop them into one of these trays as well. We can leave it in there because then we can bottom water it. And then, as I always do, I'll stretch some cling film over the top, create that homemade propagator, and then we can retain moisture in here, which again is going to help these seeds germinate quicker. So I'll gather all this stuff up, we'll get it tucked indoors, and then in a few hours time we can get some seeds sown. It's been about 8 hours since we put these into that jar of tea. I've had a really good soaking, so now we're going to sow them. First thing I need to do is drain this tea. I'll just drain it through this sieve into a jug, and then we've got the seeds. So now we'll get these seeds sown, and we're going to put 2 in each cell. Hopefully at least one's going to germinate when we do that. If you wanted to, you could offset them at angles, and then you could separate them and get 2 from each cell, but what I'm doing is going to be enough. It looks like I put quite a few more in there than I needed, but it doesn't matter, we've got lots. I might just put what's left into a margarine tub, see if I can germinate some extra ones. Now I'm just going to push them down, but not much, just a couple of millimetres, just so they're below that compost. You don't want to put your pepper seeds too deep, make sure they don't stick to the bottom of that pencil and all. And then I'm just going to very lightly cover them over. I've pre-soaked this compost as well. And then I'm just going to give them a little watering on top as well, just so we know we've got lots of moisture around those seeds. And we won't need to water these again for quite a while, because we're going to trap that moisture. So you could either get some cling film and stretch that over the top, like we normally do. But I found one of these in the shed, propagator lid. So I can just pop that on top, and that's going to do the same thing. So now I can set this heat mat up. I'm just going to stand that on top of there. We'll get that plugged in, and then everything's going to be continuously warm. So that's all the seeds set up. At some point these seeds are going to germinate, and then we're going to need to give them some light, because obviously the sunlight is non-existent at the moment, and it's not going to be for quite a while. So even though we've got the warmth, we still need to give it that artificial light. And the way I'm going to set that up is by using plant pots to raise those lights to the height that I need. Good thing about using these is I can just add more to them as I need to raise it up that bit more when these plants start growing. And then I've just got a sheet of glass which I'll pop over the top. Then all I need to do is pop those lights on. Obviously I don't need them at the moment, but when I do, it's all going to be set up ready for me. So that's it. Quite a small space, around 2 feet, but we've got a heat mat set up. Those seedlings are in an environment where they're going to stay nice and moist, and then when we're ready, we'll just turn these lights on, and that's going to bring those seeds on without any need for expensive grow lights. And that's going to bring those seedlings on so we get really good sized ones by very early 2024. If you want to see how these seeds get on, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you at the next one. Take care.